Okay, in 17, the first step in solving this is to get the inequality equal to 0 on one side. So we're going to have to subtract over the 4. So this will give us 3x minus 5 over x minus 5 minus 4 is greater than 0. Now we're going to have to get a common denominator to put this expression together. So our common denominator, since this is over 1, is just going to be x minus 5. So this will end up being 3x minus 5 over x minus 5 minus 4 over x minus 5. But since I put the x minus 5 in the denominator, I'm going to have to multiply the numerator by the same x minus 5 so that I don't change the value of the expression. Okay, so I'm going to change this negative to a positive and put that negative with the 4 so that I can remember to distribute that negative sign through. So I'm going to get 3x minus 5 minus 4x plus 20 all over x minus 5 is greater than 0. I can now simplify my expression, and I will get 3x minus 4x, which is a negative x, and then plus 15 all over x minus 5 is greater than 0. Set up a little sign chart. My zeros, okay, what's going to make this 0? If I substituted in 15, I would get 0 because opposite of 15 is negative 15. So this 0 is going to be 15, and this 0 is going to end up being a 5. So 5 minus 0, 5 is 0. So I need to put these on a number line in order. So 5 and 15, and I need my two factors. Negative x plus 15 and x minus 5, and then my whole expression, which is negative x plus 15 divided by x minus 5. Okay, so my 0 is 15 for this factor and 5 for the second factor. Now this is going to be backwards because we have a negative x. So anything to the left of 15 is actually going to give me a positive value because the opposite of something smaller than 15 is going to turn into a larger number than 15. So these are positive, and this one's going to be the negative. Here the x is still positive, so it's going to be normal negative before the 0 and positive after the 0. So here we have a negative when we divide. We're dividing these two factors, so division, same rules as multiplication. Odd number of negatives stays odd. We have two positives, so that's going to stay positive, and that's going to stay negative. And our answer needs to be greater than 0, so that's a positive answer. But it's greater than 0, so it cannot equal these two zeros, 5 and 15. 5 and 15 make this expression 0. We want it to be greater than 0, so the 5 and the 15 are not included in our solution. So 5, 15 is our answer, not including the 5 and the 15. Okay, and number 18. Two birds leave two locations 200 meters apart. So we have a distance 200 meters apart. They fly without stopping back and forth between the two locations at an average speed of 4 meters per second and 6 meters per second. So let's say this is bird 1. He's going at 4 meters per second. And this is bird 2. And he's flying this way at 6 meters per second. How long is it until the birds meet for the first time? How long is it until they meet for the second time? So they're flying the same amount of time when they meet. We just have to find out how far they're flying. So if we let B1, his distance be D, B2, bird 2's distance is going to be the whole distance minus whatever bird 1 flew. So 200 minus D. So those are the distances. Now the time if you remember the distance equals rate times time formula, the time is going to be distance divided by the rate. So we want the time the birds flew to be the same. We want to know when they're flying the same amount of time. What time do they meet? So we're going to use distance over rate is equal to distance over rate, and we're just going to substitute those values in for each bird. So this could be bird 1 and this can be bird 2. So how far did bird 1 fly? D. And his rate, bird 1's rate is 4 meters per second, so we'll put that over 4. And the bird's 2 distance is 200 minus D, and he flew at 6 meters per second. So we can solve this equation by cross multiplying. So 6D is equal to 4 times 200 minus D. So that's going to be 800 minus 4D. And if we add 4D to the other side, we get 10D is equal to 800. So D is going to equal 80. So this distance is 80 meters. So they fly 80 meters before they meet, or at least bird 1 flies 80 meters. So since bird 1 flies 80 meters, we can see how long he's been flying because distance is equal to rate times time. So bird 1 flies a distance of 80 meters at a rate of 4 meters per second. So we need to solve for how long he's been flying. So that's just going to be 80 divided by 4, which is going to be 20 seconds. So they fly for 20 seconds the first time through, and the second time through, second meeting will be same amount of time again, so 20 seconds and 20 seconds, so it will be 40 seconds. So 20 seconds for the first time, 40 seconds for the second time is the solution to this problem.